Yo, 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 yo. This your brother Ja. Walking out here on this beautiful day. And yeah, man. Just want to give all thanks and praises to Yahawah. Cause you know, there's a lot of thoughts on my mind. Soul going through some turmoil, you know what I'm saying? Looking at these streets. They just repaved this whole street, you know, trying to make it look a little bit better for the community. But just want to talk about some blessings, man. We're walking in these blessings, you know what I'm saying? And it's all due to Yahawah. Now, granted, it's up to us to stay focused, you know? It's up to us to, you know, keep our mind on doing plentiful things. But a lot of brothers and sisters aren't thankful for little things, man. You know, I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful that I got this sunshine out here, that I can walk outside and breathe. I'm thankful to have this phone. I'm thankful to share my thoughts and share this experience with you all out there. And it ain't about the views, you know. It ain't about none of that. It's just for everyone to really realize that the Most High, YAHAWAH, He puts everybody here, man, for a reason. He puts everybody here so they can shine. It's got to be that way, man. Why would the Most High put people here so that they can suffer, right? And everyone wants to blame, you know. Everybody wants to blame somebody. Everybody wants to blame. First of all, people want to blame the Most High, which is ludicrous. I don't even know. That's enough to get cursed itself. But I just think it's rough because a lot of people can't see the fact that Israel, the lost tribes of Israel, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, are waking up and coming up out of this madness. It's not going to be overnight. It wasn't overnight that we went into this madness. So it's not going to be overnight that we're coming up out of it. But it's our duty to make sure that hold up. We go trash truck. But it's our duty to make sure that we're doing our best to wake each other up, man, and help each other out. You know, it's not up to me to force feed you what my spiritual and religious thoughts, so-called, are. You know, that's not what I'm here for, man. Because those things that I have that are within, what I know, the deep things that I know, the spiritual things that I know, they're for me. And all praises to Yahawah. If I choose to share them, then I do, but I don't have to. Because there's basic things here that go on that we all should be a part of and that we all should unify under, you know? There's basic things that we unify under. Now, I am an Israelite. You don't have to, I don't need no outside source to tell me that. Just growing up with my grandma used to read the Bible to me. I felt my soul move when she would read it to me. whenever I would even be in church and I would hear certain passages out of the Bible, it connected with me inside. And even then, I had a connection with a higher power, right? With Yahawah. Well, now I know I call the Most High Yahawah because it rings in my soul, you know what I mean? It rings through to my soul, that word. But not to go off, but sorry, I'm drinking an organic I'm saying it wrong. Guayusa, organic clean energy, you know, since that's what we're moving more so into as a people, is clean energy, right? Pure energy, solar energy, some would say. Sorry, but it's got carbonation. You know, more energy. It's funny how the things of this world really scream out to us what we should be thinking about as far as inside things. Like when you look in this world, what is the world always pushing at you? Something new, something better, that's supposedly going to make your life better, right? And growing up, you tend to believe that. But the thing is, all these things are just talking about products, like material products, which is cool. But if you really, really listen, you look beyond what's being pitched to you, all they are constant reminders of what you should be doing inside. Inside, you should be looking for the new and the better you, the more improved you, right? And all day and all night, the Most High drops down upon us visions and thoughts and ways of improving ourselves. Even if you really listen, He'll lay it all out for you. He'll give you a timeline. He'll give you steps like, okay, do this step to get to this step. If you listen. See, the problem, I think the problem is that we just don't listen, man. And that's probably always been Israelites' problems. And not even Israelites' problems, man, but anybody's problem who can't better themselves, right? Because a lot of people got misconceptions about Yahawah, that he's some sort of tyrant or some sort of vindictive, childlike. And it's true, there's characteristics that are very childish, some might say, in what we've read in scriptures and what we've come to understand as some of the actions that Yahawah has seemingly done. But that's not the truth, man. The truth is, Yahawah is a creator, the creator. So you have to imagine yourself as a little creator. There's things all around us that bear witness to the magnificence of Yahawah. And we're supposed to take those things that Yahawah created, like the earth, like natural, like nature, things that we don't have things that we don't have any, control over, so to speak. And what we're supposed to do is take those as examples of how we're supposed to be, you know? For instance, it's like, and that's another thing that warrants a flashback, because think about it. Think about what I just said. Nature, just like flowers, you know what I mean? Trees, grass, the heavens, the physical heavens, the clouds, the sky, mountains, streams, valleys, Think about it, man. All that stuff, you don't have no say-so over how it works. It just works. And so in that is a great example of how we should be. Now, it still holds true that we have to work here, right? Because we all know, because of our forefathers, Adama and Eve, you know what I'm saying? That we kind of got locked out of a paradise, if you will. But what does that really mean? What does it mean when you, let's just think about it simply, just very simply, all right? Whenever Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden, I'm just using basic terms here, they didn't have to till the soil, right? They were able to just walk around, pick whatever fresh produce that they wanted, never had to work for it. It was just given to them, right? So basically in that idea, that's how we should walk in Yahawah, right? Because Yahawah wants us to understand that this life that he gives us, this breath, not necessarily these experiences, but just being here, right? Just being here, breathing here, in and of itself is something, right? So, you know, if you realize that and Yahawah blesses you, and you just so happen to be around people or in relationships with people who don't realize that, it's a hard thing. It really is a hard thing for people to realize that, you know? But I'm just saying, you know, I'm 39 years old, and I have spent a lot of time trying to make people realize inner things, that they should just shut up, that they should just listen, right? But it's something that you just can't be taught, you know? So we are living examples. And it's true, many of us, a lot of us are born in this world into situations that we didn't create ourselves. We're just here. But in a sense, though, we're caretakers, right? So imagine if you grew up, because we're not in chattel slavery anymore per se, right? But imagine you're growing up and you're working at a business or a job, and it's a job, a corporation that you didn't create yourself or your family didn't give you through inheritance. So everyone always has to realize that these people die. These wicked people, they die. We die. Everyone dies who's physical. Unless, you know, Yahawah deems it otherwise, that you get, you know, whisked away into the spirit somewhere. But for the most part, people just, pretty much all physical people die. So as the times change, so does the thought change. So being that the thought changes, and it's a big old berry tree. So as the thought changes, it changes everybody. Everybody around the whole world changes. No matter what language you're speaking, the inner thoughts is what governs how everybody moves. So let's say we're living in a time right now where the inner thought is for people to either seek out who they are and get a better connection to the Most High, or for them to realize that they can't take it with them when they die, and that, you know, they're just going to be afraid of death, and they're just going to spend their whole life trying to amass things on this earth, right? And basically they're just building something for somebody else. Because which one is better, right? I would say the better lifestyle is the one where you're here and you seek to be an example of spiritual things, of the spiritual lifestyle, of the spiritual walk with the Creator, with Yahawah, especially for those Israelites. But, you know, that's not always the case. Some people define themselves off of material things, you know, which is, I don't know, that's almost like, to me, that's almost like someone becoming, I don't know, like as if, like a toy, like you buy at the toy store, came to life, and you defined yourself by who bought you and what house you were going to and what things that the children playing with you are doing to you. And that's, to me, that's not the way to live, man. Because I know where I come from, especially as YAHAWAH, that we're the inheritors of creation. Yahawah literally sets things up for us to take over and to do good and responsible things with, even if we didn't build it. The point is not whether we built it or not. The point is, how do we caretake it, right? Because there's plenty of stories out there, and especially if, let's say, chattel slaves who the master ended up giving their land deeds and their plots and their places to the slaves, you know what I'm saying? I found some ill thing, look at that. Some ill state of Texas. Looks like Leatherface almost, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something. So what does that mean, right? Man, that's why walking is a trip, because you encounter so much. Look at that. Little trees, black ice. But being responsible is really what's up, you know? One brother asked me one time, he's like, what is it like, what is being a man? What is being a man? And at first it's a hard thing to think about, because you start thinking about possibly carnal things. But just think about Adam, right? In order for Adam and his seeds after him to live and to thrive and to be here, he had to work. They had to literally fix food, right? So what is being a man? Being a man is just responsibility, you know? In the garden, Adam and Eve didn't have responsibility. All they had to do was just be, and just, you know, just be in the presence. Not necessarily overtly happy, not necessarily overtly any emotion. They were just being, because they were just in the presence. They felt what it felt like to see Yahawah creating. So what happened? We fell. And then when we fell, we realized something. We realized that it's real, man. It's real, right? We realize that there's consequences to everything that we think, everything that we do, and you know, everything that we work on, everything that we put forth towards, first of all, our people, and then how it reacts to the rest of the world. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to change this or turn this into Joshua's philosophical corner, but whenever I'm out here walking, I just, you know, I want my thoughts to run free, you know. to grow free like this field. See that? There's a lot of wildflowers. A whole bunch of them. You know? But yeah, thanks for being on this journey with me. You know? As a child, I would run around the neighborhood and get into all kinds of things. And never really admired just being able to be out here and walk around. You know, it makes you think about brothers and sisters who are in prison, and whenever they get that opportunity to walk across the yard, not get messed with, not be confined, you know, just something to think about, man. Something to think about. You know, monetarily, man, we all could be in trouble. You know, we all could be in trouble monetarily. But if you got hands that work, feet that work, a mind to create, you'll be all right, man. You know? You know? I mean, it's good to have weapons to protect your family. Physical, carnal weapons. It's good to have those. It's bad to be paranoid and amass a large amounts of them. But remember, either an army will destroy you, right? Because you can't defeat an army. Or you're just building it up for the next man, right? But you know, Yahawah is in control of all things. I love Yahawah. Really, a lot of the time, you know, once I was open and honest with myself, and honest with Yahawah, that this shit is hard, man. Life is hard. It's a lot of things that I'm not equipped to do. A lot of thoughts I ain't equipped to have. There's a lot of ways of going about living in this place that I'm not equipped to do. I'm not equipped to spend my life worried about money. You know what I'm saying? So I just give it up to Yahawah, man. And so what happens? Yahawah brings people around you who are equipped to deal with money. And they give you wise counsel and show you the way, honestly and sincere, because they love to deal with it. For me, I've seen so much ways that money can be troubling to people. And I don't know, man, it's just one of those things. So, praise Yah. I've always enjoyed the arts and being creative artistically. So I just tend to focus more so on that, being able to envision something and act it out, or being able to, you know, get a vision or get compelled to do something and to do it. To me, that's a beautiful thing in this life and in this walk, is when you get in your spirit to do something and then you're able to do it, and it just doesn't sit there and linger, you know, like become stagnant. That's a beautiful thing, man. I guess the dogs agree. Word up. Pear tree. A lot of fruit trees around this neighborhood. So, yeah. Brothers and sisters, man, just got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to make this too long. About to make my way around the block. You know, But there's certain things that I want to reiterate because it's going to happen. There's nothing that nobody could do about it. One, the kingdom of David is going to rise again and is rising again through our people, and it's affecting the world. If the world, nations, and the people of the world have to destroy themselves in order for that to happen, then all praises to Yahawah, because Yahawah is the best strategist, and I'm all for it. And that's what I'm working towards, you know? A lot of people can't understand that, and a lot of people don't know why I say kingdom of David, kingdom of the Y, you know? But I don't know, you gotta do your history. You gotta read more. You know what I'm saying? Because where they get you is they get you thinking about a kingdom of Christ, but you can't define that because it gets mixed and mangled in spiritualness, and you can't see how that plays out in the physical world. You know what I'm saying? Because then what happens? What happens when people get it all mixed up? They say, man, they always will start waiting for something spiritual to happen, when something spiritual happening is happening right now in the physical world, right? So that's the problem. So why do I say kingdom of David? Because if you read the scriptures, it was the kingdom of David, and especially kingdom of Solomon, but kingdom of Solomon is just a continuation of David, right? Basically, because Solomon fell away, and then look what happened. But David didn't necessarily fall away, because Yahawah countlessly uplifted him and brought him back, you know? So he's the example that we should live by, because he was made after Yahawah's own heart, his own soul, basically. So, you know, the example is there. It gets convoluted and distorted behind the narrative of self-sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And we obviously see how that can have wicked implications, as our people have been sacrificed in the name of self-sacrifice for centuries. But enough is enough, man. If it takes these nations of this world to destroy themselves, so be it. And you have to realize that lives, physical lives, will be lost. And it's a shame, because it's generational. A lot of these nations and these families and people, they're raised in generations of wickedness, and they never are woken up, or they never get awakened to think, could I be the one that's in charge or involved or deeply embedded in this wickedness? That thought never comes to them, so they just perish being wicked, and their children after them are raised wickedly. You know, oddly enough, here in the United States, a lot of us are descendants of Israelite royal families, you know? And it's you know, something to think about. You know, being upright and being an example, even in your most harsh living situations, is something that's deserved, that's meritorious, you know. But anyhow, man, it's about 30 minutes, so I'm gonna cut this short, y'all. Thanks for walking with me. You know, all praises to Yahawah, who is Achad, who is existence, who is the living Alahayim, who is the living one. I'm walking underneath you, birds. I see you. All right. Who is the living one, you know? The living Alahayim. All praises to Yahawah. Shalom.